At the White House, President Biden marking the 13th anniversary of the passage of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. The president helped pass the law while serving as vice president, calling it a major milestone in the administration's efforts to bring down health care and drug costs. President Biden even joking today that this is also the anniversary of the most famous hot mic moment, when he actually let a bad word slip out while talking about it becoming law.
Many of you joined us that day after fighting for decades to make it happen. And I remember three words I used at the time. I thought it was a big deal. And I stand by the fact it was a big deal.
ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers joining me now. So, Karen, what is President Biden saying about the last 13 years of Obamacare as far as what the law has accomplished so far?
Yeah, Kira, the president said today that affordable health care, is a right and not a privilege just for wealthy Americans in this country. And he says that over the last 13 years under the Affordable Care Act, despite many attempts by Republicans in Congress to scale it back or gut it entirely, 40 million Americans have been able to get affordable health care plans. He says that people have been able to get cancer screenings and mental health care coverage that they were not able to get before 2010. And perhaps the big thing that many Americans know from the Affordable Care Act, people with pre-existing conditions can now sign up for health care coverage that they might have been denied before Obamacare.
So this is all, of course, playing into potential re-election and the president's bid with the 2024 race right around the corner. So let's just talk about health care, this specific talking point. How important is it for the president right now? Is this a part of what he hopes will gain him more momentum?
Yeah, I think we're going to see him talking about this issue a lot as he gears up to that potential re-election announcement. And Kira, it's an issue he talks about a lot on the road right now because it is something that is so important to Americans. And so for the president today, it was not just reflecting on what the Affordable Care Act has done, but what he has done in 2 years in office to build on the work of Obamacare, talking about the American Rescue Plan, that COVID relief bill, and Medicare and Medicaid things that were included in that, the Inflation Reduction Act, and what that has done and will continue to do to bring down the cost of prescription drugs for American seniors and for millions of Americans. So this very much sounded like a campaign-style speech. You notice that he was hugging some babies there in the room afterwards. This was at the White House, but this is certainly the type of message and style of speech that the president could be giving out on the road across the country in the coming weeks, if and when we get that announcement from him.
All right. Well, President Biden also took the opportunity to talk about the health care proposals made by Republican opponents as well.
He did. And, you know, the White House has this opening here. We heard from the president. He said, you know, Republicans have not put out their numbers of their budget. And until they do, we can think about the things that they're going to cut. Here's what he had to say about Republicans' plans.
Folks, our MAGA Republican friends, and by the way, I want to be clear. There's some good, decent Republicans out there. I'm not suggesting this is all about bad Republicans. But this new crowd it's not your, this ain't your father's Republican Party. They may have forgotten all I just said, but I haven't. You haven't. All Americans deserve a peace of mind that if an illness strikes or an accident occurs, you can get the care you need.
And, you know, the White House, because Republicans have not yet put out their budget numbers and the president has, they do see this as an opening, a political opening, fairly or unfairly, to say, well, all of these things might be on the table, that under some of the things that some Republicans have talked about, it could scale back health care plans. It could bring about significant cuts to Medicare. And, you know, House Republicans do want to see significant spending cuts as part of this budget process. And the president, Kira, continues to hammer them on this issue. And for now, until they put up what the president says he wants to see, he's going to continue doing that.
All right, you know I've got to have a little fun because now you have a little bit of background on our little buddy Hodge,
yes.
the son of Congressman Jimmy Gomez. He became a friend of the show when he brought his son to work during the chaotic votes in that late-night session for Speaker a while back. Well, he's back again, making another appearance, Karen. Probably the most famous baby on the Hill right now.
Oh, and it's a perfect image there for the president to show the importance of families having health care, the importance of child care. You know, obviously not knowing the circumstances of why he was brought to the event today, but I mean, talk about the president being able to use a campaign moment there, kissing babies, hugging babies. But, you know, that's another part of all of this, not just health care, but trying to build on the work that the president says they have been doing over the past 2 years to expand paid family leave, medical leave, and also child care. This is part of the budget that the president talked about in his remarks today, the budget that's still a wish list. It's not really going to end up going anywhere. It's not something he would end up signing, but it's policy priorities for the president that he can take out there on the road and say to Americans, here's what we're looking to do. Here's what we want to see Congress meet us in the middle on.
Well, and you hit it right there. It's Congressman Gomez that is involved with the child care issue, hoping that he and other members of his daddy caucus can come together and talk about that this election year. Karen Travers, it's always a great moment to see a baby at an event. It lightens your heart.
Always.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Karen.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.